Thanks for joining us on Woodworking with Wes. In today's segment, I'm going to show you how I build the drawers for my kitchen cabinets, for the standard cabinets that we build all the time. It's a quick, easy drawer, and we're going to show you how to build that drawer today. As always, the first step is our cutout. I've made a list here listing my drawer sizes and my cutout sizes. Always I do this whenever I cut a project. I always make a drawer cutout list so that I know what I'm doing. This is our cutout list. This is the material we'll be using. We're using a 5/8 Baltic birch. One of the reasons we use 5/8 Baltic birch is it has a very dense ply, multiple ply, makes a really good drawer stock, and the pre-finish on it is a very nice finish, very durable, and makes a nice clean drawer when we get all done. The first thing we did, Baltic birch comes in a 5x5 sheet. The first thing we did was to cut a couple of strips off of the 5x5 21 inches deep, or 21 inches wide. That's the depth of our drawer, 21 inches. So we made a couple of cuts 21 inches, and then we go back and we cut the height of our drawer, and that's what we'll do now. We've got our width cut, our depth cut, 21 inches, and so we're going to cut our size heights now. Now the drawers we're going to do today for our display, for our sample, are going to be 4 inches. So we're going to take some 4-inch slices off of that, and we'll do that now. In determining the width of our drawer, if you'll notice here, our drawers, our 4-inch drawers, this is the one we're going to cut right here. We're 4 inches high. We're 16 1/8 inches total width of the drawer, 21 inches deep. Now this number out here, this 14 15/16, I'll show you how we get that number. In order to get our full width of 16 1/8, we put two pieces together that are going to be our sides, and we'll measure those. Now this is supposed to be 5/8 Baltic birch, but it's good to check the exact width of two pieces put together. And if you'll notice, we're a 1/16 of an inch shy of 1 1/4 inches. 1 1/4 inches would be 5/8 times 2, and that should be, if we're using 5/8 Baltic birch, we should be at 1 1/4 inches total. But we're only 1 3/16. We've subtracted 1 3/16 from our 16 1/8 measurement, giving us 14 5/16, which is going to be the front and back of our drawer. So that's what we're going to cut next. We're going to cut our 14 5/16 inch. The first thing we'll do is we'll rip our stock 14 5/16 wide, and then we'll cut some 4-inch pieces. Okay, we've cut our 14 5/16 inch widths. Now we're going to cut the 4-inch sections. I always like to take a chunk off of the end that's a little wider in 4 inches. If we'll cut it 22 inches, that'll give us 5 pieces of 4-inch. That makes it so that I can handle a little better on the saw. That's what I was cutting my other pieces out of, was the 22-inch piece that I cut off the end of the long strip. We'll do that now on the fronts and back piece. Now the 4-inch strips. Now we have our sides cut, and we have our fronts and backs cut. The next thing we have to do is we have to put a groove down here to accept our 1/4 inch bottom. We'll go over to the saw now and cut that, and I'll show you how we determine what we do there and when we get to the saw. Our next step in our drawers is to cut a groove to accept the 1/4 inch bottom. I have a scrap piece here so that we can set it. We have to be a 1/2 inch from the bottom. We want to be about almost halfway in the depth, and then we'll cut our groove. So the first thing we're going to do is set the depth of our saw blade, and the best way to set it, or the way I find the easiest way to set it, is to just put your wood up against the saw blade, and that, it doesn't have to be an exact measurement. This is not a critical measurement, so we'll just go right about there. We'll make a sample cut and make sure that we are where we want to be. We have our blade height set where we wanted to have it now. Now we'll set our fence at a 1/2 inch. and we'll make one preliminary cut and measure and make sure we're where we want to be. Okay, let's check ourselves. We wanted to be a 1/2 inch. We're a little more than I want to be, so we're going to reset that. But let's check our depth. Let's get over here on this end where we can see a little better. That's just about where we want to be. I'm going to leave the depth right where it is. I like that depth as far as our depth goes. But we need to set the saw fence for our 1/2 inch just a little closer. We'll give it just a bump. We'll make another cut. Okay, let's check our measurement. We're good, right there. We're just a little bit more than a 1/2 inch, but that's okay. We're so tiny of a measurement difference that it's going to be just fine. So that's where we're going to start. Now we'll go back and we'll groove all of our sides and our ends. Now we have our first cut made in our drawer sides and bottoms, our ends. This is our sample piece. This will be our bottom, and we need to make a groove wide enough to accept this 1/4 inch bottom. Our saw blade is only 1/8 inch wide, so we need to make another cut to make our slot big enough to accept the 1/4 inch bottom. So we're going to set the saw blade over 1/8 of an inch and make that second cut so we can get our bottom. We've made our second cut to allow for our 1/4 inch bottom, and we're testing it to make sure it fits, and we're just right. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut all of our sides and bottom pieces with our next cut so that we're ready for our bottoms. Okay, there we are. All of our grooves are cut, ready for drawer bottom. We have one more step before we start assembling. Our drawer bottoms, let's just dry set a drawer here real quick and let me show you something. Here's a side, here's a side, front and back. That's the way the drawer is going to go together, like that. On the back side, however, we want to be able to slide our drawer bottom in, and so we're going to cut away this portion of the bottom of this drawer so that we can slide the drawer face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the saw blade at this measurement right here, and we're going to take this much off of that drawer bottom, and we're going to do that on each drawer only for the back side. I'll show you when we put it together how that works, but we're going to take that off right now. I went ahead and grooved it so that I would know exactly where to cut it, but we're going to cut that groove off. That's right. Okay, and we need to do it for 2 pieces and leave 2 pieces. Okay, now this becomes the front and this becomes the back. We're now getting ready to assemble our drawer that we've cut out. We're going to be using an 18 gauge 1.5 inch nail, and we're just going to butt joint and nail together. This is a very simple drawer construction that we use for our cabinet production. It allows us to build a lot of drawers very quickly and inexpensively. This is what we use for the majority of our kitchen construction. That's why I'm showing you this particular drawer. So let's go ahead and nail this drawer together. Now remember, our back side we cut to allow for the groove. The way we make sure that we've got that is we tip it over and put our back here. And now our top is still flush because we're tied against our bench, and you can see where our bottom lines up with our groove. So let's nail the bottom in, or the back side in. Okay, there's our basic drawer box. Now we need to measure and cut the bottom. Now that we have the drawer together, we'll measure from the inside groove to the inside groove. That'll get the width of our bottom, and we know we're 21 inches deep, and we'll subtract the thickness of this material, which is the same as it be on the front, and that'll give us the width. We determined the size of our drawer bottom and cut it to fit. I always take a little bit of glue and I put in my front slot right here to glue the front edge of my drawer bottom. Then I just slide it in, flush across the back. Then we just take some 3/4 inch small crown staples and we nail in. Now, I always square my drawer up by making sure it's tight along that edge, and then over on the front side I tap it, and then I put one little staple over here to hold it. Now my drawer is square. Held square, glued up front, nailed along the back, tight along that edge. And here's our drawer box all put together. Now we've used, for a bottom, we've used 1/4 inch natural maple melamine. It matches our pre-finished Baltic birch. It's a nice clean finish, makes it very easy for the homeowner to wipe out and keep clean. And I'll show you how we finish the edges so that everything's nice and smooth. But now our drawer box is basically together. We're getting ready now to ease the edges and sand out. We start with the bottom, and I take a sanding block and I sand off my staples, and I just go around and break my edges, corners, the bottom edge, inside and out. All the way around the drawer. That eliminates any sharp edges and any possibilities of slivers. Now on the top side we do a little different. We do a round over and we sand. So next thing we'll do is we'll round over the edge with an 1/8 inch round over inside and out. Okay, we did a 1/8 inch round over inside and out. Now we're just going to sand the top and re-sand this edge here that we just routed, and our drawer will be done. And there you have it. The drawer all done, all ready to go. All we have to do now is install. This is how we do the majority of the drawers for our cabinet construction. They're quick, they're simple, they're strong, they're easy to keep clean, and you can build a lot of them. Thanks for joining us on how to build a drawer for kitchen cabinets. Nice, easy, simple, and easy to manufacture drawers. This is a great project to learn how to do, and we want to have you join us for future projects on Woodworking with Wes. Don't forget to subscribe.